All right, can you really reshape your body without exercise? Some people opt to look better through body sculpting, and we're going to learn all about that today. Dr. Robert Langdon is the medical director at the Langdon Center for Laser and Cosmetic Surgery. He's back with us today. Doctor, this sounds a little too good to be true, but it's true through body contouring. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
The concept is body contouring or body sculpting. And the most important part of that is removing excess fat. So that we do with liposuction. But fat is a very versatile material. So there are certain other areas where fat can be added. And the two big areas are parts of the body that people never had the fat to begin with and never had the volume. We can add the fat to them and create a different look. The other major area is the aging process where people had fat, volume, and lost it. Now we can make them look younger by restoring volume.
Okay, and before we get to some other details with that, we want to go back and talk about the Patient's Choice Award. We mentioned it off camera, and it's quite an honor.
Yes, we won the Patient's Choice Award last year, and I just found out a couple weeks ago that we won it again for this
congratulations.
year. And this is based on online reviews by your actual patients. So this is really the most gratifying type of award because nothing is more important than what our patients think of the procedures that they have had.
All right, so let's talk back about the procedure. So let me just break it down. If I have fat in my thighs or someplace I don't want it, and I want cheekbones or my hands to look more full, this is an option now? In some cases?
Yes, definitely.
Great. Is this done with a local anesthesia, or how does it work?
We do every procedure in our office, everything from, facelift to liposuction with local anesthesia.
Okay, let's take a look at some pictures so we can get a better grasp on what's going on here. Doctor, can you explain this to us?
This is a good example of reshaping through liposuction. And some of the common areas that we do are the thighs. This person had the inner and outer thighs done, even around the hip area with liposuction. And the striking appearance is with the reduction of overall fat. And we do have a close-up showing some of the surface contour, otherwise known as
smooth
cellulite. And cellulite happens to occur in the very same areas where there is excess fat. There are some treatments devoted just to cellulite, which some are even invasive and require anesthesia, much like liposuction, yet they help only cellulite and they do not remove the fat. So we find most of our patients improve when we do liposuction. And to remove the fat as well as improve the surface contour in one procedure is the best option.
Wow, those were dramatic results. Very nice there. How long does that process take usually?
It really depends on the size of the area. And that would be true of these body contouring procedures. Smaller areas where we might be adding fat to reverse the aging process don't really take that long. If we're adding volume in areas such as breasts and buttocks that we're really trying to provide a new shape, those are larger areas and it does take longer to do those.
Okay, and what's the recovery time like?
Recovery time is pretty short, just like it is for liposuction. I think the only one that's a bit longer is when we do the volume augmentation in the area around the eyes. The eyelids are an area that swells pretty easily, so it's going to be at least a week before that goes down.
Okay, and I'm supposed to ask you why fat is so important. You do need some of it.
Yes, I mean fat is really important because if you look at the morphology, the shape of the female body, it's really the fat distribution that is the determinant of that. And there are areas like breasts and buttocks that people may never have had the fat in their whole life. They realize that. And we can take fat from a liposuction procedure, really combine in one procedure, get the benefits of liposuction, fat removal from those areas where it is a problem, and recycle it and get another benefit from it by adding volume.
Okay, let's talk about how the body contouring can help with the aging process.
There are certain parts of the body, the two major ones are the face and the back of the hands, where as part of the aging process, volume is lost. And the volume that is lost is actually primarily fat. We have a picture later showing the area around the eyes, which is the most important part as far as aging, in terms of determining the appearance of someone's face.
In fact, I think we have some of those pictures. Why don't we put those up so we can get some more details?
So this is someone that has on the left photo, there is a sunken in look around the eyes. The eye area is very important because that is the part of the face when you're talking to someone, that's what people are looking at primarily. And you can have great skin, hardly any wrinkles, but it can really age someone to have this volume loss around the eyes. I always ask people to look at their high school yearbook and just look at how different they look in that area around the eyes. And we can, with a very precise technique, using that patient's own fat, we can get a long-lasting, if not permanent, improvement, and we make them look more like they looked, 20 or 30 years earlier.
We have some pictures of hands before and after as well, which are really significant.
So on the hands, the back of the hands can get a kind of a bony look, and that is also due to the loss of fat volume. And using also a very precise type of instrument, we can, in one procedure, restore that volume and make this area look younger as well.
Okay, and then we'd like to tell our viewers about the in-office seminar you're offering.
We have, throughout most of the year, we have seminars in our office, usually every month, and our next one is coming up in a couple of weeks. And we'd like people to RSVP for the seminar. They can do that on our website, right on the homepage of the website. There's a form and there's a phone number that you can call as well.
Very easy. I'm sure you'll provide a lot of information there.
Yes.
And you can also find your newsletter online as well.
Right. Our newsletter, I actually have a copy. I don't know if we can see that or not. This came out just about a month or so ago. And the lead article is actually about the periorbital, the area around the fat, that in very important part of the face where volume can be added. We also have articles on natural breast augmentation, which is another very important area of body contouring, of adding fat.
Okay, well, a wealth of information. Dr. Langdon, thank you so much for being here. Let's put the information up on the screen. The Langdon Center for Laser and Cosmetic Surgery is located in Guilford. You could call 866-967-3855 or visit langdoncenter.com.